Alright, what's going on, traders? Welcome back to another video. Today I'll be going over my pre-market analysis, and then we'll be going over my live trades today. So let's get started. So this was my pre-market analysis for the day. As you guys can see, on the top right, I said SPY. One thing I can see from this choppiness is that SPY is creating lower highs, and at the moment, pre-market pushing to the downside and holding. No real areas of demand till you get to 676. Which is about here, like an area to buy. And then looking to be extremely patient and wait for a setup, not feeling confident in what I'm looking at the moment. And then I go down, so I have my area of demand, where price gets rejected, an area of supply where price has previously bought up, as in yesterday as well. I think it was yesterday or the day before, but it had got bought up here. Got bought up here, bought up here. Over here, it broke down and then ended up getting bought up. But this is what we were looking at today in the pre-market session. There was a area of, an area that once had broken down, but buyers stepped in and pushed it a bit, and then sellers took over. Buyers stepped in again in this area, and then took over the stock. So over here, it was looking like a little bounce. SPY at the moment creating a series of lower lows and lower highs, possible retrace to the trend line. So possible retrace to this. It's had a lower high, lower high, lower high. As we can see, a lower low, lower low, lower low. So this is bearish. Um, yeah, this is bearish. Possible hold low and continuation to the downside is another idea. Last 2 days been showing clean reversals around midday, so looking to be patient and flexible with my bias before the reversal does tend to have a strong push down. Today's pre-market has already shown that move down. Um, as you guys can see, over here we had a strong move down. Midday got bought up in this area of supply, where it got bought up previously, and then came up. It also is coming down. It already came down strong during the morning pre-market session, created a lower low, and yeah, we were looking to see if what would happen pretty much in this area. If it moves up to target, it would be 687 roughly, so it'd be 687, 686 around this area, these highs. If it moves lower, target would be 676. Um, so just trying to be patient today. You know, just trying to be patient. We had to move down, got bought up, retracement, and then look where it goes into. It goes into my area of pre-market demand, and I have call options open, so I have the call options. I don't know if I end up switching it here. Oh, yeah, so now I'm looking at puts. So I was looking to get into this stock around this area. I just didn't execute. So it ended up breaking out, had a beautiful rejection, immediately sold off from this area. And this area stayed true. Um, this would have been my idea of the day. I was looking to get into a put, seeing if the risk reward made sense. And then possibly looking for a continuation to the downside. So what ends up happening, it broke down, broke down, broke down, broke down, starts breaking down, goes into this area of supply. So now I missed the move short, right? I missed the move short. It came into our area of supply where it had previously got bought up in the morning. Looking to see if buyers will step in again and just anticipating a move to the downside. Hold on. I think I missed the trade already. Okay, so look. Yeah, so around this area of supply right here. I noticed some buyer buying volume stepping in. There's 400s, there's 200s. I'm noticing some buying volume getting in, so I'm looking to try this out. It had rejected and bounced off of this little area of supply. Looking to see if I can get an entry. Um, and what ends up happening, it immediately gets rejected. I, I don't I don't think I went. It just moved too fast. I think I got in at like $2 and it moved straight down. It went against me really fast. So now I was looking to see what would happen. It came into our second area of demand. Now this area, looking to see if we can get a possible retracement to the upside. So I let this stock play out. It's looking like it's bouncing, as you guys can see at the moment. So it doesn't look too bad. I'm looking to see a buyer step in and have a possible continuation of this move. I think the first move could have been avoided. I don't think it was necessarily the best trade. I could have avoided taking that one. The second trade looks like a better like like a better it's a better idea. It's an area where buyers had stepped in previously, after having that move that pushed down in the morning, creating a higher level of support, looking to see if this higher level of support, acts as a support right now. So right now we can see this green candle, looking to see if we can have a continuation, a possible continuation. Oh, look at this. So it like had huge buying volume. Am I in this stock? Oh, look at this. Look, my stop loss is set up, my target is set up. What ends up happening, look, boom, it stops me out, has a reversal, goes up like 20, 30 cents, 20 cents for my entry, and just completely wicks me out. Like that was super, super ugly price action. So I think that was a better trade, but the first one should have been avoided. So I jumped the gun on that one. Right here, what I'm seeing is that this pre-market area of support is acting as a support now, 689. It bounced out of the 689.
I just built a budgeting app with Base
679.
44.
Nina just built an app. So we can all build apps now? I'm on lunch.
679, morning level. Looking to see if this can, and I think I end up trying it around here. So yeah, I'm up at the moment. When did I get into this? Okay. So yeah, I immediately get up. I'm up like 20 bucks. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is looking really good. Up now $40. So where my target was, I don't know if I can see my planned risk to reward. Oh yeah, my target was 289. Um, with an entry of 224. I was risking 10 cents to make 60 cents. It was a 6 to 1. Realistically, I think, uh, I mean, if this was to work out, I can see it coming up here and hitting that 6 to 1, but that 6 to 1 probably was far-fetched in the sense that I think this stop loss should have been a little wider, but so far, even on this chart, it's looking good. It looks like the area of 679 is being respected. Buyers are stepping in as we can see, 1,120 versus 1,040, 100 versus 400, 380 versus 480, 560 versus 340. In totality, there's a little more buyers than sellers, as you can see by this little green line. Looking to see if we can have a continuation of this move, at least, at least, at least to hit a 3 to 1, but the target was 6 to 1. And what ends up happening in this trade, I get stopped out. It moves down against me, and I'm now down 3 losses of the day. Um, Looking back at it, I think I was just trying to go against the move. At the same time, I have my levels placed, because the thing is, if I was shorting the market when it was going up, it's like, oh, I'm going against the move. When I'm buying the market when it's going down, it's like I'm going against the move. But if I have my levels placed where buyers have previously stepped in and I'm going based off of history, trying to calculate, possible moves, um, pretty much I'm just trying to put what the market is giving me to my favor. Pre-market it showed me that it got rejected here, so I drew up my line, and this rejection was true, an area of support, an area that was once supported. So I gave it those 2 tries, and then with the third one that in complete honesty, wasn't an A plus setup, but I think this was more of a higher, a higher setup. Like this was more probable, because it's all about probability. It's all putting things in your favor. If buyer stepped in this level before, and then I see buyer stepping in this level, you know, and it's gone down this much, we have our buy zone based off of history, our sell zone based off of history, and I'm just looking to play with probability. So I think in complete honesty, this probably should have been my only trade. The other two could have been avoided. It could have been avoided, and I think I end up giving this one more shot. I'm like, okay, let's give it one more shot. And in complete honesty, it just at this point I was just chasing. You know what I mean? Okay, I can admit that. That trade should have been avoided. I was just trying to be right. Okay, at this point I was just trying to be right. This point, this right here, I think this was a good, you know, it was worth taking on the risk. These other two shouldn't have. This other one shouldn't have. So one thing I'm noticing is that like I in a sense like have the right ideas when it comes to like what I want to look for and trading based off of my supply and demand zones. Like this would have been a fantastic short if I was, cuz if I was able to execute on this, right? And then this would have been our area of demand to give it a try right here. It's not going to work every time, but one thing I am noticing about my trading is that there are a lot of trades that can be avoided. If I have one idea and I say this is my entry, 679. If it breaks down, this is my stop loss. And if it breaks down 679, it invalidates my thesis. So whatever I was in a sense looking for to happen, when I saw buyer step in, I was looking for a continuation of that move. If it broke down, that means it invalidates my thesis, and I need to throw that away. What I'm noticing, what I'm trying to get to is what I'm noticing is I'm trying it again and again and again, but in different areas. So it's like I'm trying to apply the same thesis. I'm trying to apply the same idea to levels that, let's say, had already broken down. So if I had the thesis that this is an area of supply where buyer stepped in, if it's already broke down and I'm trying it again, if I look to my left side, there's nothing that tells me that buyers had once stepped in before, in this area. Same with this idea right here. This wasn't a this wasn't an A plus setup. I mean, buyer stepped in over here, but this one could have been avoided. This one was a little more probable. It tried to go up. it didn't, this one didn't work, this one didn't work, but this was like a, I think a high probability trade. This is where it reached an area of supply. It's the lowest that it's been, so I'm not buying it midway. I'm not buying it higher. I'm buying it at a fair price. You know, it's lowest price of the morning with a stop loss. And my thesis being, if 679 it breaks down, it's invalidated. And if it has a continuation, well, I'll be targeting it, you know, at least halfway of the move or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I'm noticing about my trades. And a lot of people say it, you know, like um, you know, it's about trading isn't, it's like you're gonna take good trades, you know, and your ideas are gonna be really good. But really what trade comes down to is avoiding the bad trades and avoiding the dumb trades, you know. And that's any trade that doesn't align with your criteria, you know, if it doesn't align with your, you know, your thesis. Because me just taking that second trade, it's just chasing. It's just trying to prove the first thesis right, but the first thesis was for this area. This is a completely different trade. The thesis that I had isn't applicable to this area because there is nothing telling me to the left side of the chart that buyers had one stepped in this area. Over here, yeah, you know, and that's why you can see at least a fight. You know, you can at least see a fight between buyers and sellers. Sellers end up winning this time, but that's the thing. It would have just been one loser instead of four, right? So now it's much harder for me to get back in the game because I have to make up for not only those dumb losses, but the one good loss. And they all look the same. They all like one thing I'm able to do is I'm able to manage my risk on each trade by trade basis. I'm risking the exact same amount. I lose the exact same amount. But the thing is, I gotta I gotta learn how to be not necessarily more patient, but like I don't think it's patience, but think it's like I think it's a fear of missing out. FOMO. I think FOMO's taking over my trading, and I'm starting to realize it looking at these videos because if that would be the only thing that explains me trying, you know, to reuse a thesis on an area that isn't applicable, you know? And then, you know, as you can see right here, these two, there's some buying volume, but then there's more selling volume. There's as much selling volume, you know? And one thing I did notice in this area right here is that, as you guys can see, selling volume, buyer volume, buying volume dies down, buying volume dies down. And that's one thing I noticed over here. That's why I was gonna try to take that short. I just wasn't able to execute on that, but that would have been a great trade. So what I'm looking to do is um trade much less, you know, have one, two, like two theses, put it in an area that if I were to get stopped out, that it would invalidate my thesis. And if it moves away from it, um, you know, if it moves away from it, um, you know, to just completely throw that thesis out the window and come up with a new idea, you know, because it would have been different if this 679 had just like wicked down, but then immediately got bought up and started holding it, you know, that would have been different. But this broke down, kept going down, and then I was looking to buy this. There's nothing, there's no zone, there's no, this, you know you see what I'm trying to say? Like me talking about my trade is making me realize what I did wrong. So I'll be looking to, yeah, keep trying to develop my strategy. Um, it works, you know, as you guys can see, it works. This is a good idea as well. It's just I need to avoid those dumb losers. So I'll be looking to take about 2 trades a day. If I lose 2 trades in one day, I'm gonna call it quits for the day. And um, yeah, come up with at least two good ideas, during the day, and just not try to chase, not try to chase that winner. Yeah. Well, that concludes this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. I hope you guys found this insightful. And if you guys did, make sure please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I learned a lot myself from making these videos about myself and my trading, my mistakes, my also good trades. Like the other day, I hit a 3-to-1. Fantastic trade. It was a great trade. Um, Today, uh, yeah, I lost 4 times, so I lost four R. Um, so looking to keep these losers at least to a 2R per day maximum, 2 to 3R per day maximum, so I can be able to at least like expand on my winners. Because one thing I'm noticing in my trading is that I am getting winners, and my winners aren't they're like 3-to-1s. But the thing is, I'm not trading as much on those days. Like the days that I am confident in that I am able to execute, I usually only take like one good winner and then call it a day. Versus when I do have like let's say 1, 2 losers, I usually make it 3, 4 losers. I start trading more on the days that I'm losing instead of trading on the days that I'm winning. So imagine that, yeah, I'm trading more on the days where I'm losing, let's say not as confident, not as whatever. And then the days that I am confident that I am hitting 3-to-1s, I'm only taking one trade. That way, it's gonna be hard to make it work out. So the day that I do have my head on right and I am able to execute, I should be able to take on more risk and take more trades. So that's one thing I'll be trying to work on. But like I said, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys found this helpful, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.